What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is October 22nd of 2017. Well, folks, as you all keep up with my channel, you know that I like to stay a step ahead of the game in cryptocurrency markets and look for some potential winners going into the coming month. Now, seeing as we're stepping into November, there's going to be a lot of exciting news coming out. We're going to be stepping out of post-October, where we just had the Bitcoin gold fork. That's going to be coming out in 3 days, so we'll have to see how that impacts markets, as well as the SegWit 2x Bitcoin fork that's going to be released later on in November. So there's a lot of exciting things coming into the crypto space that's going to lead to changes and fluctuations in cryptocurrency valuations. But I think both opportunities are eventually going to lead to the catch-up phase where altcoins can really dominate the market in the sense of movement. So, in a market where there's almost over 1,200 cryptocurrencies to choose from, we've got to pick some winners. Now, the ones that I have selected today to talk about, I'm very optimistic on. They come from a wide range of valuations, as well as focus points in industries. So, we've got a lot to talk about today, and again, with over 1,200 cryptocurrencies available, it's very hard to pick out winners that everyone's going to agree with. However, these are the ones that I personally believe in. Keep in mind, though, it's not actual financial advice. You got to go out and do your own research. I've covered a lot of these coins, so I recommend you go watch the videos on them if you want to learn some more details, and also generally just do your own research before you invest in any of these. All right, everyone? So let's go ahead and dive into this and start talking about the coin recommendations that I see going into November. The first one I want to talk about might come as a surprise to some of you. Binance Coin. Well, many of you know that I've traditionally used Bittrex ever since I started trading altcoins. Bittrex has been my premier choice to trade any kind of altcoin. And some of my big plays too, Neo. I know, for example, when I bought my first kind of like Ethereum position, all of the cryptocurrencies that I bought were usually on Bittrex. One, it's reliable, or at least it has been pretty historically. And then also, I've been able to have a wide selection of altcoins, especially during the altcoin run. It was a great platform to trade on. But I gotta say, not only have I covered Binance, and I've been relatively optimistic to see how it goes, and then there was, of course, the huge run-up here with the Binance coin value, seeing as it was to help reduce trading fees, which is the main valuation behind the coin. I gotta say, there's been something that I've been doing recently, and I haven't been very open about it. It's almost been a little bit of an exchange affair. I've been cheating a little bit on Bittrex, and I've been looking over at Binance. Binance has been really winning me over, folks. I gotta be honest with you. This is something I haven't talked about. I've kind of been inching towards telling people I finally got an account registered, and I haven't been too open about how I've been kind of using the platform. I'm really liking Binance. I'm really liking it, folks. Whereas Bittrex has been lagging in a few ways, in two different regards. There's been some issues with withdrawals and account problems, as well as the variety that is coming onto the Bittrex platform. Now, with all of the new ICOs coming out, I understand it can be hard to keep up with it. But whereas Bittrex is failing in a lot of regards, Binance is coming in and it's filling those holes. It's doing a fantastic job. I was very skeptical with all the worry about China and everything with Chinese exchanges. I was worried that Binance would run stably. However, it's an altcoin to altcoin market. You don't have to worry about the Chinese government coming in and really shutting it down. In this case, it's just a world of crypto to crypto. And Binance itself has stayed extremely active. They have a great interaction with their community and customer support. And along with that, the selection they've been able to build in the crypto space over the past, I guess, almost 2 months now since they've been open has been phenomenal. They have all of the new hot ICOs. They have Chainlink. They've got Walton Chain. They've got everything you could traditionally want: Neo, Quantum, Ethereum, Litecoin, Amise Go, Stratus, and some ICOs that you just can't find even on a major exchange like Bittrex. And if you watch the volume of the two exchanges, Binance is getting up there. It's competing with Bittrex. So again, I'm testing around with it. I'm kind of getting a feel for Binance, and I'm really liking what I see so far. If you're more of a simple person and you just like a simple chart and you want to, get everything like this, you can do that and you can place your orders. You can buy 25, 50, 75, or 100% of what you can buy with your Bitcoin. And also you can do more advanced charting applications, where you can see, things in much more detail. It's kind of a darker theme, and you really get much more charting, indicators to use and play with. So I like it. It's a lot better than Bittrex in many regards. And I think as the volume and the, I would say as the continued adoption of the platform comes through, more options to trade on the platform and more ease of use and more reliability comparative to Bittrex, I gotta say Binance Coin's valuation is probably going to go up. Now again, if I wasn't really clear on it, if you haven't really learned much about Binance Coin, the main valuation is derived from the discounts you get in trading fees. So if the platform's general adoption goes up, the value of Binance's coin will go up as well. So again, you might get some kind of hyped up run-ups like this. I don't think we're going to see something like that again. I think that was just simply off of its launch. But I got to say, whereas I thought Binance, as much as I was thinking it was going to be a consistent platform to trade, I thought it was going to be a little too much optimism and it was going to be dying off over time. I've been completely proven wrong. Binance is killing it. They're doing a great job. They're keeping active with their community. They do polls that ask the community about 2 coins to add each month that they want to see. And that's how we actually got Substratum onto the trading platform for Binance. They had a huge community vote come in and support getting Binance to have Substratum. I thought that was the coolest thing. And I think they also got it from Manitha as well. That might have been the other player. But again, listening to the community, great customer support. I'm optimistic on both the platform and the coin that's tied to it. So keep an eye on Binance, and I'd recommend checking about getting an account with them. I think it's a great platform. Next up is Vertcoin. Now, if you've been keeping up with the channel, you know that we've been talking about Vertcoin. Now, I'm not going, I know people think I'm trying to shill this or something. Just because I've been optimistic on this and just because it's been going up does not mean I'm shilling the coin. I really do genuinely believe in Vertcoin. And I think that this is going to be a great crypto going in November and going into 2018. It's the reason why it's one of my 2018 picks. So you can make this a trading opportunity going into November or 2018, whatever it may be. I really think this one is going to do great. Now, it had an absolutely phenomenal run-up recently. And if you don't know, Vertcoin is basically a mineable cryptocurrency. It's basically aiming to be the people's coin. I just did a recent review on it if you want like really in-depth analysis. But basically, it cuts out the availability of people with ASIC miners to mine Vertcoin and allows people with GPUs to mine. This is exactly what's going on with Bitcoin Gold. But a lot of people are getting skeptical about Bitcoin Gold because they're afraid that it's not going to deliver on its promises, that it's coming out with a very odd, skeptical launch. Whereas Vertcoin has been around for a while. It's been very transparent, and they have fast updating block times. They have a limit of 84 million Vertcoin. The block time is extremely fast. It's 2.5 minutes. And then you also have a subsidy half of every 840,000 blocks, meaning that the supply granted out with each new mined block is going to be half the relative reward every time we go through 840,000 blocks. So I think this is awesome. They've got a ton of features. They've got the one-click miner coming out, which I think is going to boost adoption, and a few other things that I've talked about in my videos. So again, I really recommend you check out my videos where I do more of an in-depth analysis. But a lot of people might be asking me next more than anything, Nick, is this the time to buy it? It's not at its exact peak, and it's still trending. Should I get in? Personally, I'd wait a little bit for a cool down. And that's coming from someone who's a long-term, I have a long-term, view on Vertcoin. I think it's going to continue to go up more. My trader's mindset's kicking in, and I want to be fair with you. I don't want you all to buy into FOMO. Buy it when you feel comfortable with it. But then again, don't miss out on the train if it's really continuing to move up over the long term going into November and into 2018. If you really are optimistic on it. If you believe in it long term, I think this is a fine area to buy. But if you're doing this for a trade going into November, be a little more kind of critical on yourself and see whether or not this is a level you're willing to buy at. Again, though, love the project going into the month, and I think it's going to be great going into 2018. Another coin that I'm very optimistic on is Neblio. Now, you've heard me talk about Neblio for quite some time, but I think going into November, when we have a lot of these altcoins start to rise up, the small caps are going to feel the love more than anything. They already have been where the love is showing. And I bought in, to Neblio. I've been staking it pretty much ever since I got it over to my wallet. Bought it around the $12 to $13 million range in valuation. And I'm not selling any. I'm not making this really a trade. This is a long-term holding going into 2018. But I think more than anything, November is going to be a month to shine before we get into 2018. And it's going to lead this to being a much higher valuation than it is now. Now, how much that's going to be, I don't know. And if you don't know what Neblio is, again, I've done a video on Neblio. I was one of the first YouTubers to cover it. One of the few YouTubers, I think, because it was such a small cap at the time. But one of my patrons had reached out and told me to cover it. And the more I looked into it, I really thought, there is there's room for Neblio to really grow. And it's because it's an enterprise solution ICO that recently launched back, I think it was actually towards the end of September. Yeah, or sorry, mid-September. My apologies. But Neblio basically is trying to be an enterprise solution so people can build applications, decentralized applications on top of the Neblio framework. It's proof of stake. So it's very tied with Stratus. And Stratus has been losing its steam recently. So I think what you're going to see is Stratus probably continue down a little bit or hang out where its current valuation is. And you're going to see Nebuleo rise up to the occasion and really kind of test against Stratus. Now, why am I so optimistic on Nebuleo? That would mean they would go up in multitudes of valuation. Well, I don't think it'll do it just in November. I think it's going to be well into 2018. The reason I believe that is because Nebuleo has been delivering ahead of schedule. They just recently scaled their team. I heard supposedly they've added 2 new developers onto the team from their original 4. The players they already have on their team are fantastic. They're people with years of experience at pretty high leading companies. They've been delivering ahead of schedule on their promises. They delivered their wallet earlier than expected. And everything's been working so fine for me. As you can see, I'm staking down here. I'm not selling any. And seeing as it has that proof of stake benefit of 10% a year, they've been delivering ahead of their schedule. It's going to encourage a lot of early adoption of this platform. And along with that, that's going to bring developers to build decentralized apps on it. Nebuleo, its long-term objective is trying to beat out all other enterprise solutions by offering a variety of languages you can use and connecting with a variety of APIs that traditionally won't work on other enterprise solutions that have launched into the cryptocurrency space. So Nebuleo is looking good. I think it's going to be a great player going in November, and I'd keep an eye on it. They've really been delivering ahead of schedule, and that's not something you find in the crypto space. So long as they continue to expand their team, I'm completely optimistic going into November. Next up is ARK. Now, you all have heard me talk about ARK probably for the past, I'd say it's about the past 2 or 3 weeks. Now, I've talked about ARK well ahead of that before. I've covered ARK on my channel, but we had the real big uptrend on this one going into August, and it was killing it. It was having absolute optimism and exuberance coming into it. However, we've had a nice pullback. We were talking about to wait for the correction. And ARK has had that correction, especially on its Bitcoin comparative. Now, right now, I currently hold the position in ARK. ARK has been doing relatively más o menos, you know. It's like most altcoins right now. It's been kind of off and on. I haven't lost anything drastically in ARK, and I hope to build on my position in ARK. The thing about ARK, though, is that in the long term, I think that its team is fantastic, especially going into November. I think it's going to be one of the enterprise solution ICOs, much like Nebuleo, but on a more of a larger scale, is going to do very well. I think that we will revisit probably at least the market cap highs that we saw back in August. We're having what we traditionally have, though, with ARK, though. We have around a 66% pullback. I was thinking we'd only get a 50%, but we broke through the 100-day unsupport, and I think we're going to fall that down to the 200-day. I think that could be a great opportunity to look at this. Now, if you don't know what ARK is, definitely check it out because they've got a brand new website to explain everything, and it is definitely an improvement on what they had before. Now, their website wasn't bad, but this website, I think, is much more cleaner, it's more modern, and it meets much more to the valuation of what ARK has right now. So definitely check into ARK, check into what it's all about. They have some great visualizations, some great resources. Their roadmap is fantastic. Really recommend you check into all this and see where they are right now and what they're trying to objectively accomplish. But ARK is trying to be kind of like an all-in-one enterprise solution and tap into a multiple amount of things. The big thing, though, that they have is smart bridges. So I recommend you watch my video on it. I explain it a little bit more in depth. I don't have enough time to really talk about ARK in depth here on this video, but they've got some great visualizations if you want to read into it, and definitely, in general, check out the website. I'm optimistic on the project. Their team is fantastic. I think one of the best I've seen in the entire space of cryptocurrencies. People with experience in this space for years, so definitely keep an eye on ARK. And last but not least, Substratum. I've been talking about Substratum for quite some time. Still very optimistic on this project. I think it's one of the best in the ICO, any of the recent ICOs that have launched. They've recently gotten onto HitBTC and Binance being one of my new favorite exchanges. But they've gotten on 2 new exchanges. They're looking to hopefully get on Bittrex, and when they do, I think that's going to give this enough catalyst to double its valuation. And I think we can expect that going into November. No confirmation on it. We haven't heard from it. It was one of the few things that Substratum wanted to get right off the bat, but really couldn't deliver on in the sense of getting on exchange. But outside of that, Substratum has been delivering ahead of schedule. They're building their new facility. We can see a lot of the actual updates. I mean, you can go through their website and learn about the project. Basically, they're trying to build the decentralized web. If you keep my channel, you probably know all about it. But I recommend you go watch my video on Substratum. Again, one of the few YouTubers who really covered this early on. But basically, in the case of Substratum, we have a lot of updates coming into their Twitter. The few things that I've really noticed are the fact that they're building their new facility that's going to be based out in Ohio. They're going to be actually launching it in 2 days, so they're going to really have a nice place to start working on the project with some of the funding they've been able to get through the ICO. And along with that, they're starting to do beta testing on their technology. A lot of people thought Substratum was just an interesting concept, the decentralized web and decentralized web hosting. Well, they've actually not only been keeping active with their community, they've just announced that they're going to be doing beta testing. I mean, this is fantastic. You see so many people, so many failed projects, and some even which I was optimistic on, like Mysterium, that came out and they were going to be doing decentralized, VPNs. Sounded fantastic. There's a lot of other projects that try to do the exact same thing. Decentralized cloud storage, this or that, whatever it may be. They sell you an idea and they don't deliver on it. Substratum is going, and they're already doing beta testing. I think this is fantastic, and I hope it goes well because I really morally believe in the project. But we'll have to see if the team can deliver. That being said, though, I think the excitement going into it and currently with its price action will lead this to new highs. I think actually I had the Substratum chart. Yeah, I had it pulled up here on Binance. So again, I think we're going currently through the ICO reversal as I've been talking on my channel. And the fact that this isn't going to lows from its kind of like Bittrex launch, or sorry, not Bittrex, it's Binance launch where it found support here. And it seems like we're testing up to, definitely going up to new highs. I think that there's a lot of optimism going into Substratum. And I really like the project going into 2018 as well. But I think November will be a killer month for Substratum, whereas there's a lot of other ICOs in the space that just don't deliver. Substratum is continuing to impress. All right, everyone, that's it for the video. These are the top 5 cryptocurrencies, coins, ERC20 tokens that I'm really trying to definitely keep an eye on going into the month, the month of November of 2017, and I think they're going to be great projects personally. But I'd like to hear what you all think in the comments down below, so definitely leave some feedback down below. If you got a coin or token that I didn't cover in the video for my top 5, definitely feel free to leave your feedback down below. I love hearing from you guys. I'd like to get a discussion going, hear what you all are optimistic about. But until then, everyone, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.